realized that God puts us through the fire so that we draw near to Him. If we never face any hardships, we wouldn't be able to boast about His goodness in the end. So to those who haven't came to Christ or haven't formed a relationship with Him, just know that when troubles arise, that is God trying to get you to know Him and what He is capable of, so that when you see the sun after the storm, you'll forever praise His name.
Hi, my name's Taylor. I'm 24, and this is my life. Wow, a testimony. It's like, where do I even start? Basically, it all started for me pretty much fresh out of high school, summer going into college. I was in a very toxic, unhealthy relationship, and I had two best friends that I've been besties with since kindergarten. So you can imagine we were practically family, sisters. We lived in the same neighborhood, always with each other. Where you saw them, you saw me. Where you saw me, you saw them. And I had got influenced that they weren't being good friends to me, which was not the case at all. But it was my fault. I basically ended our friendship. I cut contact with them, and basically it was like, I need space from you guys. And yeah, so that summer, those next couple years of college, I'm in a very bad relationship. I don't have friends. COVID happened, so, the lockdown's there, you're all sent home, no in-person classes. I'm not even working my job because COVID, so no form of social interaction, no just socializing at all, no meeting people. I'm home, and so my bestie was my little brother. He was like 10 or 11 at the time, and he was the only person I had. My version of fun for those couple years was driving him to his football practices, going on car rides with him, and just hanging out with him. I had nobody or nothing else. You can imagine not working, no friends, no social life. What do you do? So I'm hanging around my little brother 24/7 in a really bad relationship where I'm put down mentally, where I'm just, makes you not feel good about yourself. You see things, you hear things that just really crush you, but because you have no one else, it's hard for you to leave and walk away. And during this time, I'm still seeing like my friends, when when things go back to normal, I'm still seeing my friends like going out and living their lives and having fun and doing all these things. And it's like, I couldn't do that because I didn't have anyone because of what I did. No one really liked me. So it was really hard. And I had gotten COVID for the first time in 2021, which really messed up my nervous system. I didn't know that when you come in contact with a disease that your body has not come in contact with, it can rewire your whole nervous system. So for about over a year, probably longer, I was living in fight or flight mode. My nervous system was always on 1,000. It was so bad I couldn't leave the house without panic attacks. I constantly felt like something was wrong. I was dying. I was put in therapy, but therapy wasn't working. I tried everything. Due to the stress of my relationship and just the panic attacks, I had lost over 30 pounds. So I am like at the age 22, probably 21, 22, sitting at 100 pounds, and I'm pretty tall. So I am all skin and bones. I'm constantly hearing, are you starving yourself? Do you even eat? Are you anorexic? Every time I go to the doctors, they're like, wow, you lost 10 pounds in this amount of month. They think it's like a health problem. So they're testing me for like diabetes, thyroid issues, whatever else. Thank God everything came back, normal. But yeah, I was told I look like a little boy, that I'm ugly, I'm all skin and bones. So as you can imagine, it was very hard mentally. I didn't love myself. I thought I was very ugly. I thought no one would ever find me attractive. And I just got to a point where, like I said, I tried everything. I tried the therapy. I tried, everything. I get to a point I had nothing left to give, extremely depressed, really bad anxiety and panic disorder, I guess you would call it. I go and I pick up the Bible and I'm like, well, let me give this God thing a try, because I grew up Catholic, so I always believed in God. We never really practiced that Christian lifestyle, but I always believed in God, just never had my own relationship with him. And so I picked up the Bible, trying to make sense of my situation. And, there's lots of stories where they talk about depression and anxiety and how they were healed from it, how they were set free. God gives you so many encouragements of how to cope with those things, how to get through them, with Christ. And so I'm just reading through them, feeling pretty reassured. And I'm like, wow, okay, like every problem I've ever experienced, I can find right in here. God went through it all. God felt all the things we felt. People in the Bible have experienced all of this. So I'm like, okay, I start praying. And I'm like, not that I was questioning if God was real, because I always believed in God, but I'm like, okay, God, if you're a God that did all this for generations, you did all of these things, you healed all these people, you helped them overcome these things, you did miracles in their lives. I'm like, please just show up for me. Like, I can't do this without you. I've tried everything. I'm pretty much at the end. I have nothing left in me. I have not an ounce of happiness in my body. I'm so depressed. I just have nothing. And I prayed for very specific things, probably for over a year, maybe two. I prayed for, most importantly, the strength to leave that relationship and to walk away without looking back, because I'm like, God, you showed me so many times I'm not meant to be with this person, but I'm not strong enough to leave them. So I was like, when the time is right, when you say I'm strong enough to leave and not look back, that's fine. Like, I've already come to terms with, this person isn't meant for me, but I need the strength to do it. I prayed for my best friends to somehow forgive me and come back into my life, because like I said, they were my family. They were the only people I had. Of course I had other friends, but I was like, these were my people. I didn't hang out with those other friends. These are the people I would hang out with, and we would see those other people and it'd be like, ah. But because I didn't have these people, I had no one to hang out with. Anyway, so I prayed for them to come back into my life. I prayed to gain the 30 pounds back, because I felt so sick. I felt ugly. I just felt so unhealthy. And, I'm just begging God, I'm like, please come through, show me your goodness. And if you do that, basically, I'll give everything to you, basically. So one day, I swear this happened overnight. All of a sudden, I don't even know what the cause was, but I was like, I'm done with you. I'm done with this relationship. Walked away without shedding a single tear. And that was not like me at the time. I was crying every day, all day, for everything. I was so weak, didn't shed a tear. Randomly, those best friends came back into my life. And to this day, we're standing strong. Those are my girls. In that same month, I gained the 30 pounds back, which I couldn't gain for years. And I would just, no matter how much I ate or how much I lifted, I could not gain a single pound. So gained it all back in less than a month. Got this job where I met amazing people, and finally had people hey, come to my birthday. Hey, let's go out to eat. Let's do that. And I was finally experiencing fun again. I was finally happy. The depression went away. The anxiety simmered a lot. And I was just my life did a whole 180 overnight. The exact prayers I prayed came to life. And so I got to a point where I'm like, oh my gosh, I recognize that was not me. God saved me from all of that. God literally saved my life. I could not have done that without him. So I was talking to a friend at work, and I'm like, hey, I'm looking for churches. God did X, Y, Z for me. And now I just want to give everything back to him. He deserves everything from me. And she was like, you should come try Highlight Church. So Easter of 2023, I went to Highlight Church and never left. Been there every Sunday, started serving, got plugged in, met the most amazing people. I have this huge church family, so full of love, so full of light, so full of life, so amazing. And now I look back on all that I went through, and I praise Jesus. I thank God for what I went through to get me to be who I am today. Because without all of that, I wouldn't know God like I know him now. And it's just an encouragement to you guys. If you're in that valley, if you're in that dark place where you're not seeing a way out, I promise you, give God a chance. Show him that you trust him, that you believe in him, that you want him to work in your life, that you want and need him in your life. And I promise you, there's nothing he won't and can't do for you. And that when you do get out of that valley, you'll understand that you had to go through all of that to get to where you are today. So like I said, my best friends, who I was best friends with since kindergarten, yeah, we took a couple years of not being friends, and now we're back better and stronger than ever. And I know that's something I had to go through to know God, to get to where I am today. And so that's just kind of bits and pieces of my testimony. There's probably so many more details and so many things I could share, but I just praise God for what I went through, and it just gives you a different outlook for those valleys and those hard times. You almost look forward to them because you know God is going to move in your life. And like Romans 8:28 says, he uses all things for the good of those who love him. So when it looks uncertain in the moment, I promise you it's going to be for your good and his glory in the end. And yeah, that's my testimony. God is the ultimate healer, the provider. He can do the impossible. And if he's been doing these things for generations, he's not going to stop with me. He's not going to fail with me. And yeah. I would say the difference between just maintaining a relationship with God and growing and strengthening your relationship with God is how you live it out. Because anyone can really have a relationship with God, with prayer, with reading the Bible, but then there's a difference with like living out the Christian lifestyle and like living to kind of please and glorify God, living how you think Christ lived walking this earth. I know none of us are perfect and we all fall short, but if you just have that mentality of like striving to just shine the light and love that Jesus did when he was here on this earth, I feel like that's how you kind of take your relationship to the next level and really strengthening your relationship with him. Some good tips I have for studying the Bible is, first, when you're reading it, I love to break it down, like taking notes on the verse you read, like what stands out to you, what you think it means. And sometimes, not gonna lie, if I'm a little confused or I don't know what that's exactly saying, I'm not scared to ask somebody, like text them, hey, like what's your perspective on this verse? And we kind of share both of our thoughts. Also, like just starting out, I love going through books and like Bible studying with somebody else, whether that's in person or you're both just like, oh, we're gonna read chapter 1 and 2 of this tonight and share our thoughts on it. And then for starting out, I think it's really important to start in the Gospels, which is Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, because in those it kind of shows Jesus's whole life and like what he did, but also Psalms and Proverbs. You can't go wrong with that. Proverbs a day keeps the devil away, babe. Like, so inspiring, so encouraging, just full of his love and helps you to want to like live your life differently. So I have 2 Bible verses I want to share. One is like my life verse and another is just one that's been hitting different recently. The first one is Psalms 46:5, and that one is, God is within her, she will not fail. That one is just reassuring to me because now anytime I feel like I fail at something, I'm like, that's not me failing because God's within me. That's just God's redirection. Like if I do fail at something, that's just not aligning with his plan and purpose for my life. And it just comforts me way more than being like, oh my gosh, I suck at this, or I just failed at that. It's just, no, you didn't fail. I know y'all know about Romans 8:28. It says, and we know that God causes everything to work together for the good of those who love God and are called according to his purpose for them. That one I just love because even if in the moment you're not understanding what's going on, if it feels like you're in a valley, at the end of the day, you know it's going to turn to something good because God uses all things for good for those who love him. So that's also just very reassuring and just helps you have a better mindset when you are going through something that feels so terrible. It's like at the end of the day, I know I'm going to look back at this and see that God was with me the whole way and that God brought me out of that place.